Good morning, my little teacups. What's brewing today? Now, we are back with Chantal for this video. We're going to be reacting to her latest. I will say, one, I'm a little bit sad it seems to be another mukbang, and two, it appears to be one of her creepypasta kind of things where she tells a story or she's at somewhere that's supposedly haunted and she eats Italian food. It's not my favorite content from her. I'm not massively interested in mysteries as a genre. I do know it's a subset of mukbangs on YouTube because when she's done these things before, I've had suggested things come up in her video at the end. And I know that some people, they do it quite well, they research, they give their own perspective on it. That doesn't tend to be the case with Chantal. She tends to just either read off Wikipedia or not, or just forget what she's saying. She doesn't tend to plan very well for these types of videos. And so I find them a little bit boring, if I'm honest. But it's been a few days since we've heard from her. I'd love an update on what's going on, even though her eating Alfredo in her car kind of tells us what's going on. But just in case there's any little tidbits in there, we're gonna watch the video and see what it comes up with. Oh, is she naked right now?
Hey guys.
Guys, I don't think I signed up for that.
I look like crap. I just woke up. Maybe I some nude.
Why?
Sorry, it's not an OnlyFans.
What? OnlyFans, you know what you're getting into. Don't surprise me with this. Warn a bitch. Is it because of the boil on her back? She can book clothes. Okay, she did say in the other video that she was having trouble because she's on blood thinners. It's still making quite a mess and she'd had to launder her sheets. So I'd understand her sleeping naked in that case, but how hard is it to pull on a shirt when you film and put this onto the internet? It must have taken time to arrange the camera so that you weren't showing boob. This was unnecessary. This was unnecessary and I was not prepared.
Situation. Do you pay $20 a month to see this? I don't think so.
Nope.
So,
Although, don't get me wrong, guys. It would be cringe and I would see some things, but she started an OnlyFans. I would be there. I'd be there just for the train wreck. How could you not be?
I just woke up. It's like afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
My life is a mess.
This is a bit quiet. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna turn this. Ooh.
I go to bed at like, I don't know, 6:30.
Oh.
Get up when I should be, go to bed when I should be getting up.
That's tough in the quarantine. I don't know how you guys are. Whenever I hit a holiday from school and I'm out of a schedule, naturally I'm awake all night. I went to bed at 3 o'clock this morning and I woke up early. I woke up at like 9:30, but my schedule has been very much like sleep 5 a.m. to 11:30. I've been putting 11:30 into my alarm recently, just so I'm like, do not sleep all afternoon. You have to, the one low bar I'm setting myself, you have to be awake during the afternoon. But it is something I need to keep an eye on. Quarantine's not been good for it.
Got my fan going. I have the AC on and the fan on.
Whoa.
So it's still hot.
How's the weather in Canada right now? Is it
going in the
hot
shower,
there?
but I'm gonna do this face mask here. This is Mary Ruth's Vitamin Enzyme Mask, unscented. It's my favorite skincare product right now because it leaves your skin so soft.
If she just woke up, has she washed her face? Yeah, I mean, you don't just put a face mask onto a dry, dirty face. Wash it first, surely. She's just sitting here. She's obviously just rolled out of bed.
And it's all natural and not full of crap that irritates my skin. I have such sensitive skin.
I mean, dirt probably irritates your skin, to be fair. It's all in her hairline now as well.
Alright.
Yeah, sorry. Look, her hairline looks exactly the same as yesterday. Not yesterday, her last video. Now, I would like to think she's not just layering up, she is washing. I don't know, she's got gaps in kind of the same places. She might have topped up, but she doesn't look like she's cleaned right now. Oh, I didn't need to edit that out, man.
The nurse is like, you can shower, but don't put your back like to the shower because that's where my thing is. So basically I won't be able to wash my ass. But whatever.
Again, that was in just for us, so we'd be like, oh, heavens!
What's up, guys?
Guys, she's looking quite pretty. Come on now, I was giving her a lot of shit a minute ago. She's looking quite pretty. I like her makeup here. Her eyeshadow looks lovely. Her hair looks cleaner. Her lipstick's nice. Nah, I'm with her on this, and that's a nice colour. Her top's a nice colour on her. It goes with the whole look. Chantal, look at you.
Have a fancy new bandage on. The nurse came and went, and
It's the good look
she
for
always
her.
have an immature sense of humor like I have. So I didn't say anything, but she was like, they have to pack it, right? It's not huge, but needs some packing. So
Oh, it sounds so
the
unpleasant.
packing is like a dry ribbon, and she was like,
Ugh.
okay, I'm gonna wet the.
I have issues with kind of like dry fabric on teeth, that kind of thing. Like, oh. Just giving me, just set my teeth on edge then.
I'm gonna wet it because it'll hurt too bad if we go in dry.
I'm literally just like
You're
shuddering.
right. Any penetration of any kind dry is really painful.
Chantal.
Oh, I'm so gross. Such a nice countryside. Country homes. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. Alright, so I'm gonna go get some food from my favorites. One of my favorite restaurants ever. And then
Can you just cook
I'm
up
going to get. And then I'm hoping we can go check out.
She stopped herself then. She was like, then I'm gonna get, or then we're gonna check something else. What else is she planning on buying today? I just wish she'd stick to cooking at home. I really do. There's no need for her to be out. I don't know if maybe like, I think she'd find excuses to drive anyway, but especially with quarantine, especially with not much else to do, she's just finding excuses to go out because in a weird way, this gives some kind of routine to her life. If I was being generous, I'd maybe give her credit for that, but I just, why always the takeout? And it must be so expensive. I'm pretty sure at some point she said that she makes like 1,000 a month on a YouTube, but she plows it all back into food. And it's expensive to do this every day.
Place that is apparently haunted.
Especially with her now having to do the rent.
A weird little pioneer village. There's like old buildings and stuff.
That sounds like kind of cool to visit.
I don't know if it's haunted.
Sort of
or
like
not,
historical architecture, but
probably is. I think there's ghosts everywhere. So
I would like to know her thought process on that. I don't know if it's haunted. I think it is. I think there's ghosts everywhere. Why do you think that? I'm assuming you've read something about it.
oh, I tried the new.
Ah,
I have a grande
Starbucks. That's what she was
s'mores
getting.
Frappuccino, no whip.
Oh, no whip. That's healthy. A s'mores frappuccino. Guys, I'm going to find the calorie count on that and I'm going to put it in because s'mores anything from Starbucks sounds like it's going to be shocking. I can't imagine that was anything but a sugar bomb. And that explained, she was like, oh, I'm going to get, and then didn't say anything.
It was very sweet.
Yeah, I bet. It's s'mores.
But it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
It was very sweet. I'm sure it was.
I haven't had anything to eat since like yesterday.
That would be your problem.
And I'm just like.
I mean, yesterday midnight, even if she's going to bed at 6, yesterday midnight is your last meal time because you've slept in between. It's not like you've been fasting for a week.
It was like, it's 7:30 now. So I'm pretty hungry.
AM or PM?
Yeah.
I'm guessing PM, she said it was afternoon. It's late.
That.
Actually,
That's
I take that back. It's been quite a while. But why are you waiting to eat until 7:30? If you weren't waiting that long, you wouldn't need the sugar bomb when you get hungry.
I'm just driving, enjoying this beautiful. Oh, there's like a weird wild turkey.
Beautiful and oh, there's a weird
just
thing.
Enjoying the scenery.
What, a piece of nature, an animal.
We're gonna get some food. We're gonna eat and chit chat. All right, I need to find a bathroom to ravage.
Continue on Stormo, Dundas,
That's
and
probably the
Glengarry
smallest
County
coffee.
Road 2 for 5 kilometers.
There's a gas station.
Like the coffee, she said coffee does that to her. Was she not planning for that then? Adding a ton of sugar to a coffee is not going to make that reaction better.
939.
I don't know gas prices at all. I know they're in the I miss this ending she used to use. Like, didn't you used to use this in like an ending or an intro?
I ordered the seafood fettuccine Alfredo. So I just want to put a disclaimer before
Now that you've done
anyone
nudity?
says anything.
Oh,
Not that will stop people, but I just want you to know that this is not a binge. I want to clarify that. There's a difference.
Sure?
People
Is there really?
Anything I eat unhealthy on camera is binge, and that's
before she continues to justify, because I did say before that she was in a binge. The reason I said she was in a binge the last time she was on camera, it's true. You can eat unhealthy things when you're meant to be on a diet and not be binging. You can, absolutely. But the reason I said she was binging before is because of her emotional state and because of how she was not in control of it. She had given herself permission to go eat it, and then you could see it escalating as she did. She'd given herself permission for the Starbucks, and then she smelled the Indian food, and then she was like, I'm getting ice cream, because it became a bigger thing. Sorry, I just hiccuped. It became a bigger thing, and it was just escalating, and she never addressed the Indian food, but when she got home, that massive portion of, well, multiple portions of Indian food, you could see where that was going. So she's not in a binge at the moment, but being in the car does trigger her to eat. And so I wouldn't say she's in a healthy mental state right now anyway, because she goes on these long drives to get food. So would I call this a binge? No, not necessarily. Would I call this ordered behavior in terms of food? No, not necessarily. I think there is some disordered thinking here, and maybe not thinking, disordered patterns here, connected to her driving, connected to how she eats and the excuses she finds to eat. And that might be part of the schedule, the fact that we're all kind of stuck at home and this gives her something. But it's a pattern she herself has recognized. It's a pattern her doctor recognized. When the brief moment she was with a doctor, the first step, so she didn't feel so overwhelmed, was don't eat in your car. Like, eat fast food if you must eat. Obviously, you didn't want her to eat fast food, but you can't eat in your car. That was the one step, and she still couldn't do it. But I wouldn't necessarily say she's in a binge right now, but neither would I say that this is a healthy pattern.
It's not the case. A planned meal is not a binge.
It's not, but it's not
large portions of unhealthy food on camera, but that's not a binge. It's just eating unhealthy. I don't think I've actually seen a real full-on binge. I don't remember, but I don't really film that.
You don't remember because that's part of it. It kind of hazes over.
So binge is what happens off camera usually, and it involves.
We see her binge all the time. We see, even if we don't see her physically eat on camera, we see the thoughts up to a binge all the time. Does she eat more off camera? Absolutely. And she, I think, connects, and she said this before, she doesn't like people looking at her, you see her doing the side eye. She connects the shame to the binge really strongly, based on the evidence I've seen and sort of reading between the lines in the video, and then when she's outright come and said it. To her, binging is the thing she hides. It's the pizza boxes in the closet that BB found. It's being in the car park when no one sees and shoving in the extra meal before she turns the camera on. She thinks only those things are binges. And that's not the case. It's like I said before, it's more the disordered thinking than it is the physical food. But she always focuses on the amount of physical food and sort of how ashamed she is of it, and that's what constitutes binging. I disagree, but I understand what she is saying as well.
I was eating myself out of house and home to the point where all that's left is eating spoonfuls of jam or condiments out of the fridge. That's when you're down to the condiments. out of desperation, that's a binge, and that's the unhealthy.
Yeah, that is definitely also a binge,
shit I'm
but
trying to work on.
the
And it's gonna
the
take
other
a lot.
stuff is
It's gonna
also
be a long road that I need to work on with my therapist. And
oh, she's got a therapist now, or she's planning to get one. So the imaginary therapist in the future is who she needs to work on. She says my therapist like she's done something. It's the middle of COVID. She hasn't gotten a therapist in the last 2 days. But I think the more black and white she is with defining these things, the less able she's going to be to address the steps before it gets there. Because I mean, I don't know, I'm not her therapist, I don't know all her issues, I only know what I see here on YouTube. But I would think that part of addressing it is recognizing the thoughts before they become actions. And if she's only focusing on the most extreme of her binges, she's not going to get to the point where she can see the steps and reassess her thinking before she gets there. I don't know if any of this is making sense.
other professionals as needed, but yeah. Okay, you guys.
I want to know her therapist. The therapist she's saying she has.
Reportedly haunted.
Reportedly where?
Here.
Put some basic effort into research. Reportedly where? Like, is this somebody's property she's driving onto? Because I'd have issues with that as an owner.
Driving so slow. Pioneer Village. So I will have to put some facts.
Oh, she said village, so it's probably not owned by one person.
Other than it's old as hell, and I think the buildings.
It's the kind of research we want. It's old as hell.
Not too bad of shape, but it's kind of creepy.
So I'm assuming this is like a historical site. There's no one living in this neighborhood, and like she's just creeping around. Because at the moment she's the creepy thing in this video.
Get out, it's getting dark. I'm kind of spooked a little bit, honestly.
The
guys.
ghosts might eat you.
Some weird little houses.
So. I mean, being there is probably different, but this doesn't look that creepy. But I don't know what research she's looked into to scare herself here.
Get
so
ready to like bolt for it. Just like not bolt, but like drive on if
the ghosts come.
Ghosts come near me. Or...
Oh my god. I'm being sarcastic. You can't use that as an actual adult reason. In case the ghosts come. Oh,
Fox or some kind of security.
Not coffee. I need more coffee with her. It's a dry country. I can't have a shot of booze.
So I got my favorite Alfredo. Used to eat this all the time.
When she says used to, I'm always interested to be like what timeline she has in her head. Because whenever she goes healthy, and she's not healthy right now, but whenever she goes healthy, she's like, oh, well, I used to do this, and it was like 6 hours ago.
It is so good, guys. Like, so good. Like, if somebody comes to the window while I'm stuffing my fat face with Alfredo, I'm gonna scream.
The shame is the reason she goes to these haunted places, because she thinks no one will be there. It's like going to the corner of a car park. Even now, like, the place is empty, and she's like, oh, if someone sees me.
I saw that on Trish Paytas' video. She titled it, Stuffing My Fat Face. That's me right now.
You and her, you're exactly the same. You're twins.
I'll show you guys in a minute. I'm going to put part
Twinsies, guys.
The guy looks like, I think, yeah, imitation crab, big shrimp, scallops, little shrimp.
It doesn't look that bad, but it's huge.
Gonna use it all.
Whoa. How much Parmesan did she just put up?
Feet.
That's
Where's my tray?
a lot.
I don't even know where my I don't know where my tray is back there.
What does it say that she's so desperate to get a mouthful of food in? She can't even go and set up the tray she usually uses for this. She's like, oh no, it's too close. I've got to ram it in. Like, and then she calls this not a binge. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about when you're like, I can't do X, Y, Z because I've got to eat. Like, that's not ordered thinking. At the very least, if you're calling this a mukbang, set your tray up, and she can't wait. And that's why I'm talking about, oh, well, this isn't, yes, you can have unhealthy food and not be in a binge, but that's not what I would call this. You're displaying a lot of your binge routines and you're not able to wait a few seconds. Looking around, shame.
I'm
But this
so hungry.
definitely
I shouldn't have
isn't a
waited this
binge.
long to like actually eat a meal, but
No, genuinely you
I
shouldn't.
was busy today.
You do better.
And I woke up super.
Busy doing what? I was busy today. The nurse came, so you had an event today. Busy doing what? Because the answer was not preparing your own food or going to work.
There was an older man there, and he was like, he worked there.
He wanted to fuck me.
Well, hello. You look so cute, and I love your lips. Like, kind of flirty, but like, probably just joking.
Of course he
I'm trying
was.
to make all the women here jealous.
Of course he was flirting with you. I'm sure he was. Everyone
He
does.
wanted me. I see a lot of people say, they don't believe me when I say people hit on me because I'm fat. You need to give your head a shake because I get more attention now at this size or just being bigger than I did when I was smaller.
I'm not saying that people who are overweight can't also be attractive. I'm saying that every single man you meet, you either say was flirting with you. Oh, my stomach crumbled then. I don't know if you heard that. You convinced is either flirting with you. They could just be making conversation. They could be like, and her makeup's cute today. She could have gone in and they looked at it and they were like, oh, I like it. Like something noticeable on your face. I like that. That's pretty. Like they can say that and not be flirting with you. And I'm sorry, saying I get more guys comment on me now than when I was smaller. And again, this is going to sound maybe meaner than I intend it, but she's always told us she's been big her whole life. So, and certainly for a while now, she's been this size. So what's she comparing it to here? Now, again, don't come at me in the comments. I'm not saying that heavier people can't. And also, like, when you've seen celebrities go from like super, super, super thin to a healthier weight or a bit bigger, they frequently kind of say the same thing. But they're going from usually quite skeletal thin to something that looks a bit more filled out. So I think there's a difference there because it makes them look healthier. But I don't know. I'm not sure I believe that. Or if I do, I think it may be like she has a lot of imagination. So I don't know if maybe it's true because she genuinely believes all this is flirting. And just when people make a nice comment, I don't know. But to be fair to her, her makeup's cute today. They might have noticed.
Whatever. There are men who don't care about that. There are men who
definitely
like it.
Yep. You cater to them every day with your nude opening and
I know
your
they're not all
fat
cute.
roll on the side.
This is delicious. I'm so hungry. I wish I had a better fork.
Or a shovel. Oh, Jesus.
So I could eat more. The sauce is so rich and creamy.
I mean, you're eating a fair amount right now,
You see
but
butter?
just wanting
Okay.
to shove it in faster.
It's
But not
so
binging
creamy.
behavior, guys. Definitely not binging
I
behavior.
wish I had my tray. See?
You have
I
your
the
tray.
This is-
It's in the back. She can't be bothered to stop eating for 2 seconds and go and get it. She wishes she had her tray. You have your tray.
What happened? So I had to drive by my French lover, his old place.
I hope my face is enough of a reaction for that.
Precious Alfredo restaurant, and
And I fucked him.
it just reminded me. Oh, his place was. It's very humid today. There was heat warning for today and tomorrow, I think. I think for tomorrow, but anyway.
It doesn't look that warm.
Really small bachelor, and how hot it was.
I mean, I guess she feels the warmth more because she's heavier, but it doesn't look that warm in
And
Canada today.
How I would be dripping sweat. He wouldn't be sweating at all. I would be dripping sweat. And I was like,
Gross stories.
not nearly as big as I am now.
But she's been claiming like 386 for gotta be 2 years now. And yeah, she recently admitted she was up to 395 last time she was at the doctor, and then said she was like 388. So Which is it? Were you lying then or are you lying now? Because something doesn't add up there.
You know, and when you're doing it, it gets extra hot. I always think, like, now that I'm single...
She's so experienced, but she can't say the words when you're doing it. Come on now. You're not 13 and you're not supposed to be at this
He would
point.
find me and he would contact me randomly while I was in a relationship with BB. And I would always say, you know, scram, I got a boyfriend. But now, if he did, I might do it.
She looked so, that moment there, she looked at the camera so smug. Like, if this French lover guy exists, like, is this something to be particularly proud of? I'm not sure. Just wants us to know she's got options.
I would probably say yes.
And you'd be, like, you'd have a right to, don't get me wrong. Like, you do what you want to do. You're free and single. You go get it. But when she's looking smug at the camera while shoving her face into a bowl of pasta, I'm not sure the emotional response she's expecting from me, but jealousy and pride is not necessarily it.
But I don't know where he is. I have not... I can't find him. I think he's like in
Has
jail.
she tried
honestly.
to? Oh, he's sounding like more and more of a catch. The way she said that though, just like, I don't know where he is, I can't find him. Has she tried? She's been desperately scrambling through her phone to try and fix the emotional wound there. I mean, she went to BB and was like, we should be friends with benefits. And he was like, nah, fam, that would get messy real quick. And given that he broke up with her, I don't think that's the kind of relationship he's looking for. But I hate to say it seems a little bit desperate. And that makes me feel a little bit bad for her because I think it was a few videos ago, her language mixing up kind of the want for love and the want for affection and the want for food. She had gone to visit BB and she was in a car and she was saying something like, oh, I'm craving, and she went to talk about her food and then she was like, I think what I'm actually craving is love. And I was just like, I think that's true, but it's sad when you realize it. It's less sad now I'm watching her smug face, but you know, moments like this when I'm just like, oh, she's hit some bottoms during this process of separating from BB, but the idea of her kind of scrambling around for exes because she wants some affection, and like part of that moving in with Pete, they've been friends for a long time. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're having an affair with Pete. I don't believe it, but I don't know, there's something intrinsically quite sad here.
He's been in jail a few times, from what I understand. And I don't know.
Do you have any idea what he was in jail for? Because I think there are levels you'd be willing to tolerate there. Maybe find out. Because if he was in jail for stabbing his ex-lovers, that might be of concern. I'm being stupid here. If you, I would want to know, but who I was randomly hooking up with just in case. But I do realise that's probably an extreme that's not true.
I was so hungry too.
Yeah, I bet you were. Try eating regularly. I mean, wasn't it 3 days ago? She was like, oh, not 3, a bit more than that. She was like, oh, I should eat more
I know I'm
often.
eating like a slob. I was so hungry.
Wipe your goddamn chin. There is no need for it. You are halfway through that portion. You are not so desperately hungry right now.
So anyway.
You might not be full, but you're not desperately hungry
he
right now.
hit me up and wanted to hook up.
A while ago because she
Uh-huh.
can't find him right now.
He was always so like picky about my weight. If he saw me now, that's all he would do, is talk about that.
Sounds like a peach. But you'd still hook up with him. Have some self-respect. Come on. For all we bitch about her weight on the internet, just for herself, have some self-respect. Because you don't deserve that. You deserve better than that.
I would rather hook up, like, if I'm gonna hook up with anybody at this size, I would rather be somebody who's comfortable with a bigger person.
Yeah. Like, no one's forcing you to have sex with this guy. Yeah? It's okay to not, assuming he shows up, because right now this all seems to be theoretical. Don't sleep with people who nitpick about your weight, whatever size you are, whether you should be healthier or not, whether, you know, you would be healthier if you were thinner or not, because I don't want to say should be thinner, because I don't feel like really anybody has a right to say that. When I say she should be thinner, or when I imply she should be thinner, I'm very much saying, look at all these health concerns you have. You need to be lighter to help those. Like, that's where that's coming from. But you don't, these fuckers who come over and start picking at your weight, screw them. Not literally. Like, nobody deserves, she doesn't deserve it, nobody deserves to hear that. Peace out, they can leave. You have a lot of issues, but you should have some self-respect.
The difference is out of this world. Having sex with somebody who's not really into bigger chicks.
Who? Do I want to open this can of worms? How many times have you hooked up with people who were not into it? How many awkward experiences was that? This is uncomfortable.
Or just not really comfortable.
I mean, no one's forcing them to have sex with you,
so
and no one's
than being
forcing
with a
you
man
to have
who-
sex with them. So, to go back to this, like, make your choices. You don't need sex, and if you feel like this afterwards, and you know they weren't into it, and you know that, I don't know, I wouldn't put myself through that. Everyone, even her, deserves better than that.
Loves every curve, every inch of your body.
Also, this is an uncomfortable conversation
That's a lot
to
of
picture
inches.
Chantal in. I didn't
And
read this.
who knows how to maneuver. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to think about Chantal having sex. Can we change the subject? Can we change the
There's no
subject?
comparison.
You said haunted village.
Like,
I would take creepypasta right now.
there's a guy on a bike going by. Who's that girl eating fettuccine?
I don't think he clocked her at all. I think that's very much her own sense of shame talking. Didn't even look at her.
Is this the mukbang I ever did?
No. It's not the weirdest and it's not the grossest. Don't kid yourself. Get the sauce off your chin. If it's hanging down to your chin, you could put less in. You really could.
Probably.
Probably not. I would say recently the weirdest would be the barbecue chicken you said you had right after having your wound packed at the hospital. That's a weird one for me. Why would you want to do that after that experience?
I was talking to somebody
It's not
once,
even your weirdest recently.
and they were the ones who told me that they were visiting here at night, and
Talking to who?
like them and a couple friends,
By the way, we are 20 minutes in and now she's starting talking about this.
they saw like a figure standing by one of the old buildings.
Was she talking to someone or did she read this online?
And it looked
I
like
feel
it had
like
like
that's
glowing
different.
eyes, and it didn't move. It just stayed there until I like ran back to their car.
I have my doubts.
I don't know if they're full of shit or
I'm guessing.
if it did happen or if it was an animal.
Lots of
Usually
plausible
animals move
explanations. I'm
I
very
mean,
skeptical.
Could have been a raccoon, but she said it was like 6 feet tall.
Is this it? Is this the whole story?
I'm not getting full. Probably because I didn't eat anything all day.
That's a lot of pasta to not be feeling a little full on right now. Although she's eating it quite fast, so she might feel more full in 10 minutes, you know. Eat it slower and then maybe you'll feel it more. Was that the entire,
Yeah.
story?
Foodie Alfredo sauce on my chest.
Someone I may or may not have known saw some eye reflect and ran. Now the village is haunted.
If I choke and die at the Pioneer Village,
You're haunted
I call on the
forever.
ghosts.
And what a story you'll be for future generations.
I have a very warped sense of humor.
It's cute you think that's a sense of humour. I didn't need that shot. That was pure, let me be gross for the camera.
Tomorrow I have to go out.
What are
So,
you doing now?
I'll try to pick up the stuff I want to make. I need for the recipe I want to make?
You're already out. Just go now. Save yourself going out twice. Stop exposing people to you. And you to people. Given that you're ill, you've got an open wound and COVID is around. Just get it now.
Next weekend, I'll probably go on a road trip, but I'll bring Pete's.
Probably eat more. Is she licking it right now? Why is she that close? She seriously looked like she was licking the plate then. Just has to be that close in case she misses a spot. There's no need for a grown adult to be eating so sloppily it's down here. Man, calm down. There's enough food there. Calm down.
Maybe I ate that too fast, but
That's why you don't feel full.
like I said, a few hours and it will be 24 hours since I've eaten anything.
I'm kind of amazed, especially because it was an unhealthy meal, that she's not claiming OMAD right now, because that would be her next step. That's usually when she's kind of changing over from whatever health thing she's done back to mukbangs. That's how she justifies mukbang. She says, well, I'm not going to eat anything else today. I'm going to have a healthy mukbang, or I'm going to have an unhealthy one, but that's going to be all my calories for the day. And it just escalates from there.
I'm going to look for the ghost.
We're back to this.
See if we can find it.
I've turned off my car lights, so...
Do you guys see anything in that little creepy building?
No.
I think that's the one where the figure was standing.
I'm skeptical. Like, at the very least, dude, get up, walk around, do a thing. Just do a thing. If you've driven all the way out there, you could have told this story from your kitchen counter, but you wanted an excuse to go and get the food. So at the very least, make it a feature of the video.
Window. Too many bugs, honestly. I'll get eaten alive by mosquitoes.
She won't even get out of the car. She just wanted to buy the
I'm gonna go
Alfredo.
home now. This was fun, just taking a ride, and the drive back is gonna be nice. I'm gonna take a back road in case I need to use the washroom. Yeah, there's all kinds of mosquitoes. Just wait.
Yeah, she's just eaten an entire creamy, cheesy plate of Alfredo. She's going to need to stop by the side of the road. Like, she's going to take the back roads in case she needs to use the bathroom. Why not take the main roads and use an actual bathroom? That's what you did on the way. Is she out using the bathroom right now?
I'm hearing something really weird.
She's going to pretend she sees a goddamn
Animal
ghost.
sounds. This is a creepy road.
It's Canada. There are animals in the countryside. Creepy animal sounds. Fuck's sake.
I'm gonna be honest, I stopped here to pee,
Yeah,
but
I called it.
I'm not sure what we're gonna see here. Maybe some
Nothing.
animals.
She's not wearing a seatbelt. Is that what that
I
is?
put my seatbelt on.
She could have cut this out the video. Who knows?
Sorry about that. What is that noise?
It's animals. You're in Canada. Probably barking at the weird woman who was peeing outside their place. Is this all this is? This is getting
Just
dull.
taking you on a little night trip. Finally home. And look who's greeting me. And bunting me in the fupa.
I hate it when she
girl.
uses the word fupa as a kind of
Come on,
screw
let's
to
go.
the haters. I can use this
Come on.
term.
Oh, my hair's messy. I just got home. So I'm going to end the vlog here. And
Is she
I
naked
hope you
again?
enjoyed today. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
I know, I think you could see a strap there. I was like, why? But it's okay, she wasn't. Alright guys, let's just stop that. One, the video was not a haunted anything. It was maybe 2 minutes of the content. And I don't know what to tell you. She's eaten massive parts of Alfredo in the car. It's affecting her stomach. She can't go however far without a washroom. More of the same, really. More of the same. I'm obviously still worried about her. I'm worried about just kind of emotionally and how she was talking about the hookups and just sort of what her mental state is there. She said, talk to my therapist as if she had one. I absolutely do not think she has one. Now, technically, she didn't say she had one, so she didn't lie, but I think there's an implication there that is not true. She does have a tendency to talk about planned future events like they're real, and that's something that does hinder her a lot of the time with her plans. And so I think this is another case of that, another thing. So the therapist that I'm definitely going to get, that she then never does. The diet I'm definitely going to do, that she then never does. The holiday that I'm definitely going to be ready for, which we haven't heard about in a few days because she's still in this section of just eating and ignoring and pushing away those responsibilities. And then you give it however long and we'll have another realization video of, crap, that's getting further. She'll get an email from the travel agent or from the people she's going to, and it will just bring her to a sudden stop and be like, crap, I haven't lost any weight. I've got to fit in the seat. Or, okay, don't know if that's picking up, but the call to prayer is just starting, so I'm going to stop here, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.